Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to some of y'all, and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. Let me go ahead and put you all up on some more game regarding learning languages, but more importantly, how that can actually aid and assist your red pill awareness. I'll never forget when this man from what might be my generation sat up and told Austin or challenged Austin to, I think, a chick pulling contest and maybe even a fight. And see, look, think of my job as an English teacher. If I am teaching English and I don't tell my students what their mistakes are, but I tell them the English is bad, and then I take off points on the exam, 10 points every single time they repeat one of those, they repeat a mistake. Was I fair? My job is to explain to them what the corrections are to these errors. The only exception is if I know for a fact that they've already been told before they met me. That's different. But if I did not witness them being told the corrections beforehand, then I am supposed to turn around and tell them what the corrections are before I hold them responsible. It is not okay if I sit there and don't tell them, and then I hold them accountable when it comes to the grades and the assessments. It never was okay. Nobody would sit up and say, yeah, black mind, that's fair, man, that's how you do it. Anybody in their right mind would rightly say, no, you got to explain to them what they need to fix, give them time to practice it, and then you hold them accountable for the repetition of the same errors. Two generations ago, the teachers here were from a particular place. They came in, the teachers 2 generations ago came from Egypt, the English teachers specifically. They taught mistaken English. They messed around and they sabotaged the local students, the Saudis. And they did it intentionally. It wasn't, it wasn't a joke to them. They intentionally sabotaged the students back then. And so a lot of guys my age who speak English and learned in the public schools don't speak it anywhere near correct. It's really, 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 really bad. I mean, understandable, but they make mistakes that are not acceptable in a professional setting, a medical setting, or in an educational setting. Those guys, unfortunately, don't know how to fix it. Some of them know their English is bad, some of them don't. But they don't really know how to fix it. I have to tell them. And what bothers them is that I have to explain to them, you're going to have to go deep into your own brain and deep into what you thought. And you're going to have to do things that go against your backwards Bedouin culture, like let somebody younger than you correct you when you say something in English and it's wrong. It's against your culture to let them come and teach you anything, but that's what you have to do because the younger ones may have learned it correctly. So that's going to be a hard thing for a lot of them. They can't bring themselves to do that. A lot of them simply cannot make themselves turn around and shut up when a 16-year-old says to them, actually, the way to say that is this. So what that means is they're not going to move forward. They can't. They're just going to have to go ahead and uh, stay where they are. And sometimes the reason they don't get a promotion at a job is because, you know what, they didn't learn how to write it in both languages or explain it in both languages. And that's the end of it. And there's nothing else to really complain about. They didn't learn it that way. So every time they want to write something in English, it has to be proofread again. And that bothers the hell out of them. But that's what it is. It is the same thing when you were dealing with these broads. Did they tell you the truth, or did they sabotage you in terms of the knowledge you needed? We already know which one it is. I mean, you know already, because this is what the whole red pill space and the manosphere are about. They sabotaged you. They lied. They kept things that you needed away from you. They thought it was funny. They thought it was cute. They didn't care. They're going to do it again tomorrow. And then they're going to laugh at you when you do what they say and they don't like it. And then the ones in your family might even laugh when you're trying to get better results with quality women. And they sabotaged you even there. When you finally internalize what I have said, you don't challenge other guys to beat you at a rigged game. And you don't accept a challenge from someone else to play a rigged game. When the students here finally come to the understanding that it is a rigged game, the way that 2 generations ago, the English that their parents were taught was rigged, they stopped challenging their parents. They stopped challenging each other. I'm better at English than you. They cut that mess out because they understand, you know what? My English teacher was a Saudi, but he himself was taught by an Egyptian. That Egyptian messed him up. So he's teaching mistakes that he learned. He doesn't know they're mistakes, but he's teaching them. So I'm not going to challenge this other guy to this because the game was already messed up from the beginning. Foundation was jacked up. We got to rebuild the foundation. It's not fair for me to challenge somebody else. In the name of what? That's what you're dealing with. When somebody comes along and challenges you, it is your job to turn around and say, what the hell for, man? Are you stupid? Why would you brag about being able to win a rigged game when the judges themselves are just corrupt and emotional? And all it means is you know how to appeal to somebody who throws logic out the window because of emotions. Okay, you know how to appeal to them, fine. But the way you do that is by lying. You offer them things that are too good to be true, because that's what they're demanding anyway. And that is actually what yo alpha male strategies used to say. Sell them a dream, shuck the fit out of them, and then bounce. He would say that. You sell them a dream, because the minute that most of you can turn around and have what it is that they want, they're just going to find more things to want. There was a woman that sat up in a car and said, if we all just played games with them and made them be better, then they would all be better. No, if we all became what they wanted, they would just change the goalpost again. That's what they've been doing the whole time. If all of us have Ferraris, then they're going to come along and say, well, I want a man with a spaceship. That's it. So, you're not really going to be able to win. There's nothing you can do to win. You are always going to you're always going to be looking at a rigged game until the day that you do like these young brothers are doing and you quit. And you do it for the right reason. You don't do it just to be a weak quitter, but you do it because the game is rigged. And that's the end of it. You have to understand that it was sabotaged. Now, the Egyptians and the Saudis don't like each other, and everybody knows this about them. There's no question they don't like each other. Even though there's a lot of intermarriage between them, they don't like each other. What does that tell you? If they don't like each other, then in all honesty, you have to stop and ask yourself why it is that uh, you would challenge another Saudi if you're Saudi. Why would you challenge another Saudi to turn around and beat you at a subject that they are intentionally teaching you incorrectly because it's funny to them? What reason would you have for doing that? And that's a legitimate question to ask. Why would you? That's what it's like when you know that these chicks are up here lying about what the hell it is that they want in the first place. You know they're lying, and then you turn around and you challenge each other to somehow win that game that they rigged, and everybody can find out, everybody can see that it's rigged, and that the judges are really only judges because you set them up as such, knowing that they're just never ever going to be mature enough. You put them up in that position. How would you do that when a Saudi challenges another one and they both came through the public school system where education in general is weak, let alone a foreign language education? You know that that's dumb as hell. Like, both of y'all had bad teachers. Why are you challenging each other? Even if the teacher meant well, he was mistaught. That's what you guys are like. If it was Egyptians that taught them and now the Saudis that are teaching them only learned from the Egyptians, then why do you know that the source is bad? Why would you sit up and challenge each other based on that? It's the same thing. You guys are doing the exact same thing when it comes down to it. When it comes down to these broads, these O's, and you know you're doing it. You know that you're sitting up challenging each other to this rigged game, and you know the game is rigged. And you're bragging to each other about your ability to win this game that everybody knows is rigged. And you're acting like you're something special, like you're acting like you're winning because you bribed the judges. And you think you accomplished something only because they didn't tell you the truth. So, okay, congratulations, you can see through their lies. Why challenge someone that can't see through them instead of just telling them these are their lies and this is the evidence that they're lying? That's N19 machismo. And in all honesty, I talked about the wrong mindset to bring abroad. I talked about that on my Buy Me a Coffee channel. And on there, on my Buy Me a Coffee account, I'm going to put some more information about how you learn languages. That's not going to be for free. Mistake avoidance from the very beginning is something that you take seriously. You do your best at it, that's all, but you take it seriously when learning any language. It is the same thing when you were dealing with these broads, these O's in the West. Mistake avoidance. How do you do that? You get as much information as you possibly can before you even try. If you feel like you don't know enough about the way they think, then don't try. Don't let somebody coax you into it. They might say, well, you ain't going to learn no more till you do more. Nope, because you know how it is. You try and you can't read her mind. She turns around and messes up your reputation. And then you stuck like that forever. They're all going to view you that same way, and they're never going to stop. You get stuck in that cycle. And most of you are not going to be able to leave the West in one fell swoop. So the best bet is to simply disengage. I hope that what I said helps out. And now you young brothers have done a good job of disengaging from what I've been hearing, relatively. But now you must send the message out that there will be no re-engagement until they are honest about what they want or until they come after what they want. And until they sit down and tell the truth about how the hell they lied, not just how they were lied to by feminism, but how they lied to men about what women want. How they knew other women lied and they kept their mouths shut and fucked the shuck up and didn't go and tell that dude, hey man, that broad lying. Why the hell do you think that this black wife effect is circulating around right now? As hypocritical as it is and openly hypocritical, they don't take brothers with a white sense of style and then try to teach them a better sense of style. And even, no, they don't do that for brothers that don't have it already. Like, you got to come with that. You got to come with that already. But here's what makes it worse. It shows the world that they are hung the up on style and not substance. They are bragging not about how they make these guys, how they enhance their white privilege or how they help these guys make more money. Nothing like that. No, it's just, I made him look better. See, look, I made him look more like the way you would want him to look. I made him look slightly a bit more like a brother without darkening his complexion. I made him look a bit more like the men I left behind to jump the fence to go after this dude. Because you do have style, even though I don't want you anymore. Your style is still superior. But I'm willing to teach him how to imitate your style. Whereas you can never be stylish enough, even according to the rules of your style. Even according to my demands for your style, according to my standards for your style, you can never be stylish enough. But him, I'll help him. That's a rigged game if I ever saw one. I hope that what I've said helps you out and benefits you. Thank you so much for listening. As always, black heart, black mind, black out, assalamu alaikum, black heterosexual, non-select male power because they don't like it, a black patriarchy until extinction or judgment day. Thank you for flying with us again here on Jet Black Airways, where the phrase jet black is also a verb. Keep jetting black with us until the wings and the wheels fall off. Gender, justice, forever.